So I'm about to change Kia Sportage 2017 rear brakes and the rotor as well. So this is a very simple job. I am not a mechanic. I am a truck driver. So anybody can do this, and I'm gonna just show you the steps. I'll kind of talk to you on the way, but this is, I apologize for the noise. They cutting the grass, but let's make it happen. All right, so first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna loosen up my lug nuts. Lug nuts are loosened. I'm gonna jack this thing up and make it happen, baby. We'll make sure she's right. That way we have no issues. We up. Let's take these things off. I did the other side and figured that I'd record a video because it's that easy. Well, she looked like she a little locked on there, so I'm gonna pop the tire mallet, that way it pops off. The tire, not the rim. Alright. I like to keep the tire close, just in case. Just in case of what? Just in case. All right. What I want to do is, you got to brake. In order to get your rotor off, you're going to have to break these bad boys open. So I tap them once while I'm turning. Okay, maybe not. Get it in there. Now she's in there. Turn. We're good. Turn. We're good. That thing's loose. See that? This is for future reference. Tap them in there. That kind of breaks the seal on them a little bit. Oh, y'all can't see this. Anyway, there's 2 screws. It's a Phillips head screwdriver. Take them off, because that is gonna release your rotor. I keep them close, put them in my little box. That way we don't lose the tool. We don't lose nothing. You don't want to lose these, because then you'll be upset looking for them and everything. Next is to take your what is this thing called? The caliper off. Caliper. I believe it's a 14. I got my 14 around here somewhere. Bear with me. $14mm for the top, the bottom, and the back. So I don't know which way they go, because like I said, I'm not a mechanic. So all the mechanics out here that's gonna say, "Oh, you're going the wrong way." I'm gonna say, I just told y'all I'm not a mechanic. I told you it was going the wrong way, dummy. Anyway, so we loosen the top, tap them, loosen the bottom, easy to turn. That thing ready to slide off. That's for your brakes. Now for the actual caliper itself. Whee! Some people use a breaker bar. I ain't got the patience to go find it. Loose. Yes. Bottom one, can't get to it yet. Bottom one tap. That was 3 taps. Irrelevant. She's loose. One on bottom, one on top. Sweating my butt off. Sorry we're not zooming in, but it is what it is. Now, before I take this off, we have a piston that's back here. The key with this is to make sure that the piston is totally compressed, because if you don't right now, it's going to be a pain in the butt later. So before we take this off, get a little tiny pry bar, and I try to get in there. Or, what I'll do, some people do it, they slide their brake off. This is your piston, you want to compress it. Brakes are still sitting there. That thing's locked on there. We'll get back to that piston in a second. Remember the screws. Old brake, garbage. Garbage. Slide your piston back on. Why? Because that's the only way you're going to be able to compress it, unless you got a vice grip. Put the screws back on a little bit so that it's not moving. A real mechanic's going to tell you don't do that because you'll bend the drum. I'm sorry, you'll bend the rotor. Well, like I said, I'm not a real mechanic. I'm a shade tree mechanic. And unfortunately, there's no shade right now. And I'm definitely not underneath the tree. I get behind there and I pry. And as I pry, the piston is compressing. You don't want to press too hard, because then you'll end up breaking it. Kind of go back and forth in a nice motion. One side, other side, she's going in, she's going in, she's going in. There she comes. Get your minds out the gutter. Woo. Take these back off. We'll show you this finished product. Now it's fully compressed. See it? Fully compressed. You check to make sure that there's nothing leaking. If it's leaking, go order yourself another one. Don't try to rebuild it. Ain't no real mechanics here. Shade tree mechanic style. Now we're going to take 2 bolts off the back so that we can release the bracket that holds your brakes. This is it right here. True mechanic's going to tell you how to clean it out and scrub it and all that other stuff. Like I said, I'm not a true mechanic. I'm just a shade tree mechanic. That's what you're supposed to do, though. Here's the cute part. If this is loose right now, this little rubber thing down here, you're supposed to pop it out. When you pop it out, inside of it, there's a little mechanism that you use with a flathead screwdriver that tightens your emergency brake. So this is loose already, so I can just pull this off. But this mechanism here, it's always at 6 o'clock. See if I can get close to it. Turn this thing around. Sorry about that. It's in there. This little mechanism right there. So when you push, when it's all connected, you can go up to tighten, down to release. That releases your brakes or makes them tighter. Okay? But it's always at 6 o'clock. This hole is always at 6 o'clock. Again, this ain't for educational purposes. This is for me. But somebody needs this. Alright, let's throw this thing back together. I got the new one. They're gonna tell you grease it all up and make it nice and juicy like. Lubricated with your favorite lubricant. Mine is pina colada. But you know, to each their own. Again, that's the thing right there with the rubber, blah, blah, blah. It's on. Let's get our little screws to tighten this thing up. But it's not aligned, because I don't see the screw holes. These little tiny screw holes have to coincide with the others. There you go. Get your Phillips. I tell you to put some lubrication on every screw that you put in these things because of the heat. The heat tends to bind metal to metal, and unless you have some never lock or anything like that, possibly it can lock in. Okay, this is basic mechanics. Metal will lock to each other. Here we go, we locking them in. Bada bing, bada boom. The rotor is tightened. Looking for your little black rubber right there. Put it back on. Okay. Bracket. That's where you slide your brakes. You see the little metal pieces in here? You pop one out. You match it up to the new one. You pop out one at a time. So the new one looks like it? Yes.
Yep.
Well, now you want to come out here? I'm recording a video. You were no help. Thank you.
Got to get my coffee, right?
So,
You doing a break video? Man, you are dripping, soaking.
well, you know, I'm still recording. Thank you. Anyway, so this is what the new brackets look like. He wouldn't know. That's my brother, because he's never changed brakes in his life.
Hey,
Nonetheless,
no need to. We're going to a mechanic.
yeah, see that? Because he's rich. So now you have your new brackets in there. You got your brakes. He'd rather spend $400 or $500 to have somebody do something that you could do in a few minutes.
I also got a son for that.
Okay.
Hey, man, enjoy this weather. It's hot.
One's in there. Nice. The other one in there. Supposed to make sure that these things are clean and free of debris and all the other goodies. Keep them separated enough so that it does slide onto the new. There it is. She's on there. Y'all see what she's looking like? One from the back, bada bing, bada boom. One in place. Again, spray with your lubricant. Tighten them up. Remember what direction they're going. They're going up. Tight. Finger tight, then give a little up. As soon as you feel that resistance, give a little more. She in there. She in there. Now, your piston sits back over your new set, and it should be tight enough. Oh, she's snug. She's snug like a glove. Beautiful. Beautiful. You put your last 2 screws in this Again, make sure that you have lubrication on your screws so that if you ever have to do it again, they don't have to break anything. Tighten these bad boys up. 1, 2. There we go. There we go. She's on there. It's loose until you actually start pumping the brakes. Once you start pumping the brakes, you will notice it will get tighter. And God forbid I didn't miss any steps. Somebody's gonna tell me that I forgot to adjust on the inside here. But like I said, I'm a shade tree mechanic without some shade. Got my garbage to the side. This didn't take no more. What we looking at? About 15 minutes. And that's because I set this thing up. Get your tire back in place. Now, I'm not saying that every job is this easy, because I'm sure they're not. But I've never done this before, so tighten one, tighten each one up, alternating corners by hand. And I did the other side already, so like I said, you just do the same thing other side. And it's literally doesn't cost a lot. For what they charge you for this, you guys will be surprised, because they are professionals. We're on there. We're gonna let it down, and we go to tighten it again. Make sure that the wheel don't fall off while you're driving. And that's it. 20 minutes. Alright, hopefully this helps somebody from a non-mechanic. Alright, y'all have yourself a good day.